So that House of the Dead remake. Do we really need that? Was it necessary? Let's talk about it.
This wasn't written with your comfort in mind. Nah. Made my decision, wasn't tough to decide. Nah. Me and my boys, we get it done every time. Gotta earn it, you can't just jump in the line. You'll get rushed to the side. I top my division, I've been building since I started. In the parking lot, I parked it. I came in while picking targets. My career cannot be tarnished. I'm a champion regardless. Celebrate, but this is a different kind of lucha party. We are not alike.
All right, everyone, before we get this video started, I want to give a shout out to Forever Entertainment for providing a review copy of the House of the Dead remake for the Nintendo Switch, as well as for the next generation consoles. Yeah, so we're going to talk about this game because it's one that I feel very, very conflicted on, and I feel conflicted on for several reasons. And one of the main ones happens to be that as a fan of the franchise, I love that it's back in a way. And at the same time, I'm kind of frustrated as to the end result. Like, you know, those situations where you know something could be better than what it actually is, and also it's better than what you actually expected. It's kind of one of those situations. So we're going to talk about all that and more in this review of the House of the Dead remake. Before we do all that, if you enjoy the content I put out, make sure you sub to the channel, ding the notification bell, that way you stay up to date on all the latest and greatest content that comes out. And outside of that, if you want to support the content we do, head on over to patreon.com/Mekel Kasanova or become a channel member here on YouTube. All that being said, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about this remake and how I truly feel about it. Let's get into it. So if you're curious about what the story of the House of the Dead remake is, well, it's honestly the same as the original, with it focusing on biochemist and geneticist Dr. Kyrian and his unethical experiments, which lead to an unholy outbreak of the undead and supernatural at the Kyrian mansion. We see AMS agent Thomas Rogan and his partner G receiving a distress call from his fiancée Sophie Richards about the outbreak that's happening over in Europe. Rogan and G head to the mysterious Kyrian mansion to put a stop to the vile machinations of Dr. Kyrian and the evil that has been unleashed. I mean, what more do you want? That's the plot. This is from 1997, technically 1996. It's an arcade shooter. Like, if you want more story than that, I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is. But let's keep going. So the thing everyone wants to know is, how does this remake play given how the original was heavily built around the light gun? Well, let's be honest, it's functional with the controller, albeit that's not the most ideal way to play it. The Nintendo Switch version allows you to utilize the Joy-Cons to simulate the feeling of using a light gun. However, the functionality is a massive miss and oftentimes is incredibly highly inaccurate. When it comes to trying to aim and shoot, and it's frustrating to me that it made me just give up on even bothering. There's another controller option that's available to those who are playing this on Nintendo Switch or the PlayStation 4, which allows you to utilize the gyro functionality of those controllers for the platforms, although it's also not a great option either. So yeah, I would say just stick to the standard controller to play this game, although they have, and by the time this review is out, the patch probably is already done. I mean, you probably have already been able to experience it. But the official House of the Dead remake Twitter put out a tweet where they stated that PlayStation Move support will be coming to the PlayStation 4 version. So that's definitely something to look forward to. I was actually wondering, if you guys remember, I reviewed a device called the Mars, and that was really a very interesting and really cool, you know, peripheral. And it's been dead silent for like the last several years. So I'm kind of wondering, hey, that's an opportunity. It was actually pretty cool having the light gun support for that. I mean, PDP, come on. That's an opportunity for you right there. With standard controls, you aim with the left stick while shooting with the right trigger and reloading with the left trigger. And that's just about it. I mean, there's a flashlight functionality that you can toggle on and off, but it doesn't really serve much of a purpose for the overall gameplay. There are 4 stages for you to go through, which will have you on rails, going through the levels, mowing down all manner of foul creatures from zombies, demon dogs, bloated big boys, Freddy Krueger knockoffs, and more. And each level will have several branching paths that go along, depending on actions you take, such as if you save the researcher is about to be thrown off the bridge in the first level, or if you shoot the chains on the trap door on the floor at the beginning of the second level. These alternate paths will ultimately end you up in the same ending area of the stage and are fun detours that allow you to rack up more points to add to your score, along with allowing you to find more hidden breakable boxes that have score multipliers. Along your way through each stage, save for the final stage, are researchers that you can save from the monsters, which can result in you gaining health and aiding in your getting one of the several endings of the game. It can be tricky saving these researchers, as you will often have mere seconds to kill the undead that is trying to kill them, and also avoid shooting them yourself. Each of the first 3 stages takes note of how many researchers you end up saving, so try to do your best and save as many as you can. Graphically speaking, the game, it looks decent for what it is, which is a budget remake title, similar in vein to Forever Entertainment's previous outing of remaking Panzer Dragoon. It doesn't compare to any game released in the last 5 years or so, yet it doesn't look terrible either. I mean, that's the silver lining right there. And when it comes to the environments, I mean, they're adequately detailed, although there are occasional close-ups that show really polygonal, low levels of details. And when it comes to the monsters, they look fine and animate fairly well, and the main characters of Rogan and G look fine, just not more than that. It's serviceable. It's not going beyond that. Now, when it comes to performance, across platforms, it's similar to an extent with the PC, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Series X and S, performing incredibly well with little to no slowdown or performance issues at all the while running at a smooth 60 frames per second at 1080p, or higher if you're on PC, while the Nintendo Switch version runs about the same at a variable 60 frames per second, yet dips lower when a lot is going on during action-heavy segments, which causes it to also have frame rate dips and performance stalling in both docked and handheld modes. The Nintendo Switch version also offers a performance mode which tries to lock the game at 60 frames per second, yet it still dips below that. I also noticed the Switch version has longer loading times in comparison to the other versions when it comes to starting a new game or completing a stage. Other oddities I noticed in the Nintendo Switch version were that it would also have textures not fully loaded and would have constant instances of texture pop-in. This isn't anything that would prevent you from enjoying the game, it's just something that's honestly an oddity, given how this game should in no way tax the Switch's resources in the least. The lack of any semblance of online features really hurts this game, as it truly could have used some online co-op functionality, if not even an online leaderboard or something. Anything. Those features being left out literally has me feeling like this really doesn't have much lasting appeal for the game, and honestly just leaves it as a novelty at best. So the question now is the House of the Dead remake worth it? Or should you just play the original? Or should you buy it? Should you buy this remake? Well, that truly depends on you, as if you are a series fan, then you may find yourself enjoying this even with its lack of features. If you're not a nostalgic gamer and have no history with this series, then between the frustrating controls, lack of online, and lack of replay value, all make this not a game worth your time. Or if you do have some curiosity with it, then wait for a sale and get it then. Was the remake of this game truly worth it or need it? Honestly, I don't really find an issue with the remake being done. It just feels like it should have had more substance than what it does have, and maybe some more care put into it. But with all that being said, ultimately I did enjoy my brief, and when I say brief, I mean 30 minutes playing through and beating House of the Dead Remake. It's a game that I can see myself coming back to, mainly to get higher scores. Hopefully there's some patches to come through for the Switch version, which should allow like for better accuracy when it comes to utilizing the Joy-Cons, and hopefully the functionality for PlayStation Move makes it a smooth and fun experience. And you know, PDP, you guys have that Mars add-on for the Xbox. I think it's also for the PlayStation as well, but I mean, why not allow that to work hand in hand with House of the Dead Remake? I mean, that would honestly give us a light gun functionality again. I mean, if you guys want to check out what that's like, I mean, it's an older video. I'll leave it be one of these corners and down below, but they had a game that was kind of like House of the Dead that was really fun. It was called Voyage of the Dead. And I mean, that's an opportunity. I don't know what they're doing. Anyways, all that being said, shout out to Forever Entertainment for providing a review copy of the game. Like I said, it was fun. It's not going to be for everyone. Even for me as a fan of the franchise, I'm kind of like, yeah, it was okay. I mean, I think the Wii versions where they basically they put 2 and 3 together on one disc, I feel like that was better value, but then those are also better games. And Forever Entertainment is going to be making a remake to House of the Dead 2, which is coming down the road, and I think possibly 3. All 3, I think you could just compile 3 and 4 together and just put those out, and there you go. But all that being said, what do you guys think of the House of the Dead remake? Are you enjoying it? Did it let you down? What platform are you playing it on? And what do you think so far of it? Whatever your thoughts are, let's go ahead and get the conversation going in the comment section below. And if you want to take the conversation further, we got Discord and Guilded. Links for those are available down below if you want to hop in there and talk with some other folks about the game and many other things. Outside of that, if you enjoy the content we put out, make sure you sub to the channel, ding the notification bell. That way you stay up to date on all the latest and greatest content that comes out. And outside of that, if you want to support the content we do, we got channel memberships, we got Patreon, and all that good stuff. So with all that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hope you have a blessed and aloha rest of your day. And yeah, I'll be seeing you when I see you. Peace. Mahalo for making it to the end of the video, and if you found anything of importance or substance that you gained from watching this, make sure you leave a comment down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, make sure you sub to the channel and ding the notification bell. That way you stay up to date on all the content that you get from my channel, from podcasts, streams, reviews, impressions, reactions, and so much more. If you want to support what we do have channel memberships, we've got Patreon, we've got Subscribe Star, as well as coffee, which I would love to be drinking some coffee right now, which I am. That's some good coffee. But anyway, we got all of that, and we also have merch on Teespring and TeePublic, so make sure you go check that out. And all that being said, I just hope to see you in the next video that I put out. So hey, see you around.